On a freezing winter night, the Little Stick family huddled around a dying fire. The flames were fading fast. Little Stick looked around nervously, then spotted some dry leaves overhead. He plucked them down and tossed them into the fire. The flames roared back to life. Seeing this, Red Stick and White Stick broke off branches from their own bodies and fed them to the fire without hesitation. But Pink Stick? He just sat there, calmly soaking in the warmth. He didn't lift a finger. Little Stick was annoyed. He tried to peel bark off Pink Stick's trunk, but Pink Stick punched him hard. Then, a cold wind blew through the forest. White Stick glanced at Red Stick, and a dark thought crossed his mind. He gestured to Pink Stick, silently telling him to break off Red Stick's branches. Pink Stick got the message. He walked right over and started pulling on Red Stick's limbs. Old Stump couldn't take it anymore. He stepped in, weak as he was, trying to block Little Stick's view. He didn't want the kid to see this cruelty, but Little Stick was too young, too headstrong. He tried to stop the violence, but was easily overpowered by his older brothers. Grandpa saw what was happening and tried to intervene, only for Pink Stick to kick him straight into the fire. Little Stick rushed to help his grandpa up, but the movement stirred the flames. In seconds, Old Stump was consumed by fire. Meanwhile, Pink Stick and White Stick finally tore off Red Stick's limbs. Now the four brothers sat by the fire again, like nothing had happened. They stared at the burning remains of Old Stump. Little Stick clenched his fists in anger. He charged at Pink Stick for revenge, but Pink Stick grabbed him and held him over the fire. Little Stick cried out, biting his fingers in pain. White Stick just laughed. That laugh? It pushed Pink Stick over the edge. He yanked off White Stick's branch and stuffed it into his mouth. Then he grabbed White Stick and smashed him into Red Stick, and just like that, he threw both of them into the fire. Little Stick stared in horror at the brutal, unstoppable Pink Stick. Then, the bark on Old Stump's charred body began to fall away. Little Stick looked at his grandpa's burned face, and the tears came pouring down. He wiped his eyes. He picked up a piece of Old Stump's bark, and quietly, he crept up behind Pink Stick. While Pink Stick wasn't looking, wham! He knocked him straight into the flames.